Hey guys, it's me again. We're going to work through another question paper, paper one. So we're doing revision for paper one, and for now, I'm only dealing with using language or the language part of it. We have dealt with some adverbs. We haven't dealt with it within the paper context, but I've given you some information in terms of how to dissect adverbs. I'm going to try and just do a section on adverbs. We have done. We've done some cartoons. I've given you a list of things to identify when working with cartoons. So that is the formula you use whenever you deal with cartoons. Very, very important that you answer to any of those questions. Then, what's the other thing we still need to do? It's just a summary, and that we can do closer to the exam. But for now, we are going to be dealing with a memo or a question paper. Sorry, for July 2015. July 2015. Before we go there, I really want to go back to a question that we dealt with in the 2017 paper. This is for the home language guys, but I mean, it will definitely help all the first additional guys as well. So if you just can go back to 5.5 in this question paper, you'll see it here in a minute. So it says rewrite lines 7 to 8. I thought, blah, 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 all meaning in reported speech. Now, we all know reported speech is direct and indirect speech. So when you rewrite in the reported speech, there's quite a few things that you need to do or look out for. I'm going to try and see if I have jotted them down before, but let's see if I can refresh your memory in terms of that. Let me just, what am I doing? Let's keep that there. Keep this over here. I'm going to try and open this so I can have a look at what we need to do. There we go. Thank you. Let's do this quickly, and there we go. Okay, great. Let me just go back here, set my background and zoom in, and then just get something to write with over here. There we go. Thank you so much. So the question there was to rewrite this in the reported speech. Let's talk about the reported speech. What do you need to do when we talk about direct? In this instance, we're going to be dealing with indirect equals your reported speech. So they may be asking you to write it in the indirect or the reported speech. Remember that the reported speech means that you are reporting the story over. You are telling the story over. You're literally skinnering, for lack of a better word. And when that is done, it is normally done in the past tense. Let's start with what you need to do. Your direct speech is written in inverted commas. So the first thing you have to do is you remove the inverted commas. Number 2, you add the word that. Number 3, you would have to, you ensure that the tense is the same. You rewrite, you rewrite in the past tense. You are more than welcome to pause this video if need be. Number 4, your pronouns will change. In other words, if it says Sean said, comma, I love to eat apples, when you report this, you would say Sean said, that's in the past tense, that you add that instead of saying I, it will now become he. He loves eating or loved eating apples. Yeah, that's about it. And then what we also do is number 5, I think your time words change. Time words change. If something comes up, I will definitely come back here. But time words would refer to, this is an M. Today becomes that day. Yesterday. becomes the previous day. Tomorrow, guess what? You can help me with that. Becomes the following day. So that's basically what we deal with in terms of time words. I'm just double checking if I have all of it down. If we do, then we are ready to go. Just have a look to see if I have all my ducks in a row for you. Please just give me a minute. I'm just double checking because I do not want to come back here. Change the pronouns, use the past tense, drop the inverted commas, change. There we go. We're doing good. Okay, great. So that's what you do. So, okay, what I want to do, also want to point out is the following. Once you start the sentence, let's go back here, in the past tense, it means that if you have a verb in front, that verb must be in the past tense. If there is a verb at the back of the sentence, that verb must also be written in the past tense. So you cannot have one word in your present tense and the other word in your past tense. When you rewrite, you're going to rewrite everything throughout, back to front, in the past tense. It obviously has to make sense. So when we say, let's say Sean says, this is me and you are in the room, I like apples. I'm saying it, I'm in the room and you can see that. Okay, so in this instance, you would rewrite that by saying, remember it's in the past tense, Sean said, drop your inverted commas. Number two said, where are we now? Add the word that, the preposition that our pronouns need to change. Can you see this I? Because I'm not saying it anymore. You are saying it, which means you are now saying, hey, Sean said this the other day. So Sean said that he, I become he, like. Would that be like or liked? Definitely liked, because we said this is in the past tense. When we go to the back, that remains in the past tense as well, that he liked apples. You ensure that the tense throughout the sentence is the same. So I think what I did the other day was I sort of made a mistake in retrospect. I remember this line, 5.5 says, rewrite lines 7 to 8, I thought, and the rest of it is in the reported speech. Now, if I go to line 7 to 8, here we go. I thought these crushes are incomprehensible, the ones to which you can assign no sense or meaning. I think this is what we wrote. So remember, we have to say who says it, because it would make no sense for you to tell something over. You can say Sean said that he thought, or you can say he said that he thought, but you cannot just say he thought these crushes, because you're not saying or reporting anything. When you report on something or someone, you actually have to now say, okay, someone said it, and we're asking who said it. Great. Now let's talk about this particular sentence. I want to go back here. We want to start with someone said it, he said that he thought. He said that he thought. You see that? Past tense. We're going to drop the inverted commas. There's our that we have added. He said that he thought. Where are we now? Let's go to have a look. Those. This becomes those. Because remember, just try and point. These crushes is what I'm saying. But when you report it, you'll say that those crushes are or were. Past tense. These crushes were incomprehensible, the ones to which you can assign no sense or meaning. Let's write it out that way. I'll be with you in a minute. Say that he thought those crushes, we said were, because that's past tense, incomprehensible. Then we're going to go down, let's get some space, that those crushes, our pronouns changed. In fact, this becomes that. No, I'm sorry. He thought these and those, yeah? Those crushes were incomprehensible. Let's go back here. The ones to which, where are we now? The ones to which you can assign no sense or meaning. The ones to which you can assign no sense or meaning. Okay, so just look at this verb here. So we said that this is all going to be in the past tense. He said that he thought, past tense, those crushes were, past tense, incomprehensible. And what I gave you in the answer was the following: the ones to which you can assign no sense or meaning. Can, however, is in the present tense. So I would always think, okay, what's the past tense of think? It's thought. What's the past tense of are? It's were. What's the past tense of can? It is could. That is your correct answer. So the answer would read, he said that he thought those crushes were incomprehensible, the ones to which you could assign no sense or meaning. Always note that all of your verbs must be in the past tense, especially when you are rewriting that in the reported speech. Okay, that's what I wanted to point out with regards to that, but I think it's important that we did give it some attention. Okay, great. Now we are in the July 2015 question paper, and I would like to go to question 5. It says using language correctly. I'm going to read it and then we can come back. High school idols. An evening at the talent show proves there's more to performing well at school than you just doing homework. The ruffled velvet curtains fell to the stage like a waterfall. Behind them, every now and again, was ripples of movement. The spotlight fell on the MC. The high school talent show was about to begin. Around the hall, mahogany boards celebrating gilt-leafed achievements in academic and sporting pursuits. Sentia et labor, proclaimed one board. Could that mean science is a ball? The opening act was a seated guitarist who'd written a song about the rhino. One's heart went out to the rhino, but also to the guitarist, whose electric cable kept shorting out, making a sound like the sudden crackle of gunfire. Next was a classical Indian dancer, followed by a gum-chewing breakdancer. But the cheers and whoops really rattled the windows, as an artist of more demeanor delivered a stirring version of the evergreen ABBA number, Thank You for the Music. There was a burlesque dancer, complete with jaunty angled hat, a rhythmic gymnast with a spangly costume, and a piano solo. The performing arts, and not only algebra and grammar, should be taught as a subject. Okay, great. Let's go to these answers and see what we can get out of here. Okay, number 5.1 says the following: identify and correct. You have seen this in the other question papers where they ask you about a grammatical error. A grammatical error occurred and you are supposed to fix it. So remember that grammar could be, there could be, it could be punctuation, there could be maybe you maybe need a comma or a question mark or an exclamation mark, whatever it is. maybe there's a comma in the wrong place, but grammar could also mean that you've used the wrong word. Grammar could mean that you have used words in different spaces or incorrect spaces. So grammar is really vast in terms of when you try and correct it. Okay, so here we go. Identify and correct the grammatical error in the subheading and evening at just doing your work. Now let's go down here. We'll say an evening at the talent show proves there's more to performing well at school than you just doing homework. So you can feel when you read the sentence, it does become a bit, it feels like something isn't right, but you can't figure out where exactly that grammatical error is. An evening at the talent show, so that's how you read it, that is okay, proves there's more to performing well at school. So you always want to say there is more, but there's is enough, because the word there's with that apostrophe s really means there is more to performing arts, more to performing well at school. I don't see any problem there. Then you just doing homework. So there's a bit of a, you almost get a bit of a could be there, but how do you fix that? You really want to take out this pronoun over here. If you read it without the pronoun, this is what you just read it. You'll feel that it's a lot better. So an evening at the talent show proves there's more to performing well at school than just doing homework. There we go. That feels right. So you are going to omit the you, and how do you do that? You're going to possibly rewrite the whole sentence without the you in there. Okay, 5.2 talks about correct the concord error, or the error of concord. We've discussed that already, what error of concord is. Error of concord really is subject-verb agreement. If you still don't know it, you can just make a note. Let's go. Error of concord is really subject. And remember what the subject is, verb agreement. The two of them must agree. So if the subject is always the doer, in other words, you're asking yourself, is it one doer or two doers? So you go, the boy is the doer, verb kicks, sorry about that, kicks the ball. There we go. So the doer is the boy, sorry about that, kicks the ball. Subject, let's do this. The doer is the subject. This is verb over here, and then here we have the object. There we go. The boy kicks the ball. Okay, great. So now, when we say it's the subject-verb agreement, you're asking yourself, the subject is the doer. How many of them are there? Is it just one boy or two boys? Okay, so that's one boy. Let's talk about two boys. Two boys kick or kicks. Two boys kick. So that's what you're looking out for when we deal with error of concord. Really, you don't even have to worry about the rest of the sentence, because this is where the answer lies. So it's going to be one subject, one boy or two boys. Now remember, one boy is, one boy kicks, one boy has. Okay, great. Two boys, yeah, are. Two boys kick and two boys have. Let's try this again. So if you have a look at, there's an S at the back. If you have an S at the back, it's just my way of thinking. There's no S in front. If there's an S at the back, there's no S in front. If there's an S at the back, no S in front. Here we have two boys. One S here, no S at the back. The S is here, no S at the back. There we go. Great. We have this idea. Now we know what era of concord is. So, well, let's sum it up. A singular verb. No, I've got that wrong. We're going to say a singular subject, a singular doer, a single doer. Just go, I'm so sorry, let's go back there. Singular subject equals a singular verb. So one boy is. Then a plural subject equals a plural verb. There we go. So two boys, that's plural, are. There we go. Okay, let's look at this, at the example we have in here. I'm going to close this one and this one, and I know we're only dealing with this one. So correct the error of concord. Oh, are we there already? Yeah. Correct the error of concord in paragraph 1. Let's go to paragraph 1. So we're going to say the ruffled velvet curtains fell to the stage like a waterfall. No problem there. Behind them, there we go. Behind them, every now and again was ripples of movement. The spotlight fell on the MC. The high school talent show, okay, there we go, was. One talent show was. Around the hall, mahogany boards. How many boards are there? More than one. Celebrating gilt-leafed achievements. Gilt-leafed achievements would look like that plaque that they would have, the board where they, I'm so sorry, where they have a list of names of alumni or those who have achieved. So I think it looks something like, it looks leafed. I'm just going to try my utmost best. Okay, there we go. I think you have an idea. Then they have names and they have the year 2017, 2018, whatever it is. So you have an idea of what the leaf looks like. Gilt-leafed. Did they say trophies or whatever it was? Let's go back there. Gilt-leafed achievements in academic and sporting pursuits. Saint Labora proclaimed one. So that's one proclaimed one. Could that mean science is science? Science, there's one science, is a ball. So the problem for me, or the challenge in terms of concord and the subject and the verb agreement, yes, in the second sentence. Behind them, how many of them are there? One. No, two. Them is more than one. Every now and again. So one boy or two boys, this represents two boys. Two boys was ripples of movement, no were. So behind them was, behind them were, behind them were, them are, they are, put it that way, not they was, them were. So that's your answer there. Were ripples of movement. Let's just move up. Now, give a more formal equivalent for MC. 5.3. So they're asking you for a formal name for MC. You will notice from the other question paper, they have asked you for grammatical error. They have asked you for error of concord. And again, they're asking you for formal language. I wonder if you can remember the question paper we did before this did ask for formal language. So a formal language for, or a formal word or equivalent for MC would be Master of Ceremonies. Or it could be ceremony. There we go. Or or this person could be the host or the program director. It's just a more formal equivalent. Okay, 5.4. Around the hall, mahogany boards celebrating gilt-leafed achievements in academic and sporting pursuits. They're giving us this line between line 3 and 5. It says, rewrite the above so that it is grammatically correct. So that it is a grammatically correct sentence. Rewrite the whole thing. Okay. Let's read it. Around the hall, mahogany boards celebrating gilt-leafed achievements in academic and sporting pursuits. I would say the following because that doesn't make any sense. When you say mahogany boards celebrating, remember when we use your ing, your present participle. Remember we have participles. We have two participles. One is the past participle, which is ed, and then we have the present participle, which is ing. So remember, when we use the ing, it is in the continuous tense because it is still happening. Okay, so when it is still happening, it has the ing, i.e. he is walking. He is walking to the shop. Okay, great. So in this instance, what we have here is the word walking with ing. We actually need a helping verb. Is walking. So is and walking, there we go, becomes your new tense really. But let's go back to they're saying around the hall, mahogany boards celebrating. Rewrite the above sentence so that it is grammatically correct sentence. I would say mahogany boards are celebrating because when you have your ing, you absolutely need a helping verb. 5.5. Is that where we're busy? Great. Let's see what the memo says. So, around the hall, there were mahogany boards. Okay. Are we there? Let's quickly have a look. I was wrong. See what they said here. Around the hall, mahogany boards are celebrating. That's what I said. In blah, 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 blah. Let's have a look at that line there. 3 to 5. Saying this around the hall, the high school talent show was. Okay, so that is in the past tense, you're right. Around the hall, mahogany boards celebrating. There were mahogany boards celebrating gilt-leafed achievements in academic and sporting pursuits. Okay, there were. That's your answer according to this memo. Around the hall, comma, there were mahogany boards. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so there's nothing weird about the question paper just yet because it's really asking the same line of questioning as it did before. Now let's go to 5.5. It's asking, what is the function of the hyphen in gilt-leafed? Remember we dealt with what's the function of the dash. In other words, more information follows. So there's a dash at the end of a sentence. They're saying gilt-leafed. Okay. Let's quickly go back here. So at the end of a sentence, there's a dash. That means more information follows. So if we're saying, remember we use this holiday makers. There's a dash, especially those from Johannesburg. can you see more information is following about the holiday makers. Okay, great. But that's the dash. Now we have a hyphen. Remember what the hyphen does? It joins two words. Like if we use the word Kelly Ann. See that? Word number one, word number two, and then this joins these two words. So that is the function of a hyphen. But now let's always look at the context in which the word was used. If you go to your question paper now this time, you will see, let's go to line 4, we'll see around the hall, mahogany board celebrating gilt-leafed achievements. Now what you want to do is the hyphen join these two words, like it did with Kelly Ann in a minute. Let's go back there. You can see it joined the word, these two words, Kelly Ann. So hyphens actually joins words. But then you must say, what is happening to this word? Why did it join the word and what happened to the word? In this instance, you will see Kelly Ann is written with a capital K, which makes this a proper noun. Remember when we properly name things with a capital letter. So that what the hyphen did there was it joined these two words, Kelly and Ann, to form a proper noun. We properly name it. It's called so it has now formed those two words, has formed a proper noun. Sorry about that. Okay. Now let's look at what it does here with gilt leaf. That says gilt leafed achievements. Please always look at the words next to it or in front of it, so that you have context, but you can also see how the word, what happened to the word. So what's happened to this word, we've now said there's word number one, the hyphen has now joined these two words. It's called gilt-leafed. What is it doing? Achievements. Gilt-leafed achievements. It's like saying something about the word achievements. Try and figure out what the word achievement means in terms of the word press, like really what type of word is achievements in this instance. Is it a verb? Is it an adverb? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? In this instance, the word achievements is a noun. In fact, it's an abstract noun because it is an idea. Abstract nouns normally are feelings like hate, sad, happy, but it's also concepts or ideas. And in this instance, achievement is a concept. Yeah, so I would say that is a noun. And so gilt-leafed is explaining the noun. Gilt-leafed in this instance is telling us that we are adding value to the noun. What does it do? Or it describes the noun. Anything that describes the noun is called an adjective because it describes the noun. Okay, so what happened to the hyphen? What the hyphen did was it took these two words, joined it together to form, hold up, an adjective. But what type of adjective? A compound adjective. Compound is when you put words together. Okay, you've compounded now. Selma's telling it formed a compound adjective. There we go. Thank you. Next question. I think you are getting the line of questioning specifically for this paper. Then explain the use of the italics. Again, we've had this question before, I think in the 2016 paper. The use of the italics. What did it do? You see this word, scientia et labor. Scientia, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's put it in italics. I want to show you again what italics look like. If you have, let's have a look, a Word doc open. I'm sure it's somewhere there. I'll be with you in a minute. There we go. So if you have a word open, for instance, like we did right here, italics, I want to show you what we did. There we go. So that's the word italics. We have, I'm just waiting on this to open. There we go. If you highlight this word italic there, and you slant it forward by means of using this U here, let's quickly see what this does. There we go. So normally the word would be upright, like that. This stands for bold, this is for italics, and this is for underline. If you highlight it, you will see what it does. It gives your word a forward slant, and you need to know why you are using that. In this instance, when I look at this word Scientia et labor, to me, it could be a scientific language, but it could also be that well, in certain instances, they use the actual, like a book, a title of a book, and they put that in italics to prove that it's a title of something. In this instance, Scientia et labor, it is actually written in a different language. So that highlights the fact that this was written in a different language. There we go. 5.7 should be easy for you by now. 5.7 says, give the adverbial form of the word science. So remember what we said when we want to do the adverbial form of words. How do you form, in other words, how do we form adverbs? So let's say we say the boy runs slow. We're actually going to say the boy runs slowly, because this adverb describes the verb over there. This is your adverb. So they've given us a word, science. What do we do with it when our rule is add ly? Okay, there we go. Let's add ly to science. So you can't really say sciencely because it doesn't make any sense, but you can use the word scientifically. There we go. Scientifically. I might just want to check on the spelling of that word. You just go there, if it's double L or just one L. Scientifically, it's double L. And there was it's a foreign language or different language in it, a Latin expression or a title. Those are all the answers you could have raised for you explain the use of italics. Okay. Let's talk about give the correct form of an incorrect word in line 8. 5.8. Give the correct form of an incorrect word in line 8. Let's go to line 8. We are doing well. There's line 8. One's heart went out to the rhino, but also to the guitarist, whose electric cable kept shorting out, making a sound like a sudden crackle. So that's line 8 of gun 5. Just give you a few seconds to think about that, and then let me know in that line, what do you think, which word was incorrectly spelled? Okay, great. Here we go. So the word, if you could figure it out for me, is whose. Remember when we said when we use an apostrophe, in this instance, when we use it in this instance, let's for instance say the word is its, and we have the word its. It sounds the same, but it's differently spelled and definitely has two different meanings. When you use the apostrophe, it actually means it is. And so when you use it shows possession. The dog licked its bone. The dog licked its bone. But this word actually means it is. So let's go back to the question paper and see if we can read it that way. So I said the word is whose. So it should actually be reading like this. One's heart went out to the rhino, but also the guitarist, who is electric cable kept. You can see that actually means who is electric cable kept shorting out. So this, I would say, the word whose is actually incorrectly written because it means who is. It should actually read whose electric cable kept checking out. There we go. There we go. Okay, great. Now, let's talk about the next word. The next question. The correct form of the incorrect word. So definitely the word whose is the incorrect word. Now let's talk about 5.9. The performing arts and not only algebra and grammar should be taught as a subject. 5.9.1 says, identify the finite verb in the above sentence. Let's do 5.9.1. Identify the finite verb. So remember what we said the finite verb is. I wonder if you can remember what the finite verb's definition is. The definition for the finite verb is 1. It shows tense. Shows tense. Other words, yesterday, today, tomorrow. And 2, it can be more than one verb in the sentence. How do we do that? So let's, for instance, say the boy kicks the ball. There's one verb in there that makes it the finite verb. But now let's look at this. The boy is kicking. Let's go back here. Is kicking the ball. You will see it is kicking because we cannot say the boy kicking the ball. We need this is in there. That is what we call the helping verb, and it shows tense. You could be saying the boy was, then it shows it happened yesterday. You can say the boy will be kicking. When that is, let's use will be kicking. That shows that will happen tomorrow. So the finite verb in the sentence will be kicking. The finite verb in the sentence number 2 here is kicking. It's more than one verb. There we go. So we are getting the hang of things. So in this instance, if we go back to our question paper, you will read the performing arts and not only algebra and grammar should be taught. You can't say the performing arts and not only algebra and grammar taught as a subject. No, we need should be taught. So the finite verb in this sentence is should be taught. Should be taught. Okay, great. Now it says rewrite the above sentence in the active voice. Let's talk about that for a minute. So if we have the active voice, what happens in the active voice? Do you remember what we do when we deal with the active voice, the active and passive voice? No, it is not direct and indirect. I'll show you what it means now. Okay, fine. So the active voice definitely has to do with the subject. Do you remember what the subject is? The verb and the object. Subject is always the doer. We know what the verb is, it's the action, and then the object would be who or what it's being done to. Or what is undergoing the action. Okay, so we have the boy, the doer, kicks. The ball. This sentence currently is written in the active voice. Why? Why did I say it's written in the active voice? Why? Tell me why. Because in the active voice, the doer is in front, the subject is in front. There we go. In the passive voice, the object moves to the back of the sentence. When you read to the front of the sentence, now when you rewrite the sentence, for instance, when you rewrite it, you're going to put the object in front, and then remember, it's very important that you notice or note that the time remains the same, the tense remains the same. So in this instance, we would say the ball is, that's present tense, kicked. We use the past participle by the boy. Okay, great. Now, let's go back to the question at hand. It reads as follows. The performing arts, and not only algebra and grammar, should be taught as a subject. Okay, the performing arts, actually the main sentence is this. Here's your main sentence. Your main sentence would read, the performing arts, let's get rid of this part, that's more information, should be taught as a subject. Okay, I'm going to write the following. The performing arts should be taught as a subject. Should actually just be, should be taught. Here we go. I would do that. I would just write the main sentence down. The performing arts, I'm forgetting about the rest of it, should be taught as a subject. I think the main sentence should read, should be taught. So I would start with one, who is doing this? Who is the doer? So let's get back to let's go back here. So I'm just going to use this part of the sentence. Let's do subject, let's do verb, let's do object. So I'm trying to figure out what is the doer in the sentence. Do we have a doer in the sentence? I have should be taught as a verb. The object, is the performing arts teaching? No. No, they're not teaching. So this sentence for me is written in the active voice. No, it's written in the passive voice. Should be rewritten in the passive voice. Let's quickly in the active voice. Should be rewritten in the active voice because it is in the passive voice. When something is written in the passive voice, it means that the object is in front. And in this instance, the object is in front, the performing arts. So actually, what we have currently is the following. We have object, we have object, we have verb, and then we have subject. And it reads as follows. The performing arts, because they are not doing it, they're the object, should be taught boom, but we don't have a doer. Now the question is, who can teach? Who can teach? Think about that. So we could say that teachers, we could have lecturers, we could have professors, we could whatever it is. Teachers should teach, I'm taking a guess, what the performing arts. Remember, there's the rest of the sentence. Now we just add everything back into the sentence. Let's go back to what the original sentence was. Teachers should teach the performing arts and not only algebra and grammar as a subject, and not only. So that's how easy you make it for yourself. And not only algebra and grammar as a subject. There we go. That, according to me, is what it should read like. So let's look at this. The performing arts should be taught. That, remember, this is the verb. The verb must stay the same. Teachers should teach. Should teach the performing arts. It's in the same tense. I hope that it's right. Let's have a look at what our memo says. 5 point. Teachers should teach the performing arts and not only algebra. There we go. We did well. Thank you so much. Well done. Thank you. That, in a nutshell, is your grammar section. I think we are getting the hang of this. We did a whole list yesterday. I want to see if I can call that up before we close this section down. Let's quickly see. I think I did a list yesterday. Keywords, paper 1 keywords, and see if we're still on par with what we should know. And well, no, we dealt with italics and we did that. Then yesterday we did, oh, this is the Afrikaans word. Let's have a look at the Afrikaans one. But it's all the same. We dealt with synonyms and antonyms. We dealt with direct and indirect. There was spelling errors or incorrect use of words. Active and passive voice, we just did that. Then we dealt with conjunctions and a preposition. We did the finite verb today now. Remember what the infinite verb is, okay? The infinite verb is all the words appearing after the word to. All the verbs that appear after the word to. In other words, I like to dance. In this instance, your infinite verb, your infinite verb would be dance. Okay, there we go. So now we sort of have a clue of what the question paper would question us on in the grammar section. We should be doing well in our cartoon section, and that we can do again some other time. But thank you so much for this, or for your time in the meantime. Okay, we'll see each other again soon. Thank you.